What's up and welcome back to Pro Pels Talk Emergency Podcast. It is the home of your 10th place in the West New Orleans Pelicans, presented by Boot Crew Media and Company Burger, located at 4600 Ferret Street. Make sure you're checking out Company Burger. Big news. CJ McCollum coming to New Orleans. Nickeil Alexander-Walker gone. Josh Hart gone. DD gone. Picks gone. Before we get into it, Ross, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts about it because I know we've talked a bunch today. I do want to thank Josh Hart because Josh Hart is a guy, right, that this city, he in my opinion, he's a New Orleanian, right? He from day one since he got traded from the Lakers, he embraced this city. Interacted with fans, loved the city. You know, saw him, he got married here. So it's kind of, when I saw that Josh Hart was part of the trade package, I was a little upset, right? It was kind of bittersweet because we grown to see him every night just give it his all. And then that's all we ask down here in New Orleans, right? We're not expecting championships and everything like that, but he gave it his all every single night. And that's somebody that I can get with. And it just sucks to see him go because he was becoming that leader in the locker room. He was a culture guy. Everyone seemed to like him. I know the fans loved him. So it kind of sucks to see him go. And I see you scrolling through Twitter, and Antonio Daniels is giving him a shout out to Josh Hart and things like that. So it sucks to see him go. But wanted to thank Josh Hart for literally everything he did for this city.
Yeah, I mean, look, he played hard, and that's, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of guys. We've watched a shitload of NBA basketball over the last, handful of years, especially, but for a while, like he plays hard in a way that you can say a lot of other people don't, right? He sacrifices his body, does a lot of that stuff. So look, he'll be tough. He'll be missed just from that perspective. And really it's even more on the fan side because people like seeing all that, but put that behind you, you got a better player.
Let's talk about it.
You got a markedly better player that fits with your current roster, sans Zion, or even when he comes back, you got a much better player. This league is about getting studs. You got a stud. And just as importantly, we've been talking about the culture a whole lot. What Willie Green's done has been phenomenal. I thought the video yesterday of them cheering for Brandon Ingram when he got there's good juju around this team right now. From everything that we've seen over his, 8, 9, 10 years in the league, like, you got a culture fit too. Like, McCollum's is like a good guy.
Right.
He seems like a guy that plays hard. He's not a headache. He's not a diva. Like, you got a good culture fit and you got a great on-court fit.
I'm so excited to see him in New Orleans Pelicans uniform. He's going to be great, but I wanted to talk about something before we know this. Bill Simmons just came out the tweet when we all know we fucking hate. He hates us. We hate him, like whatever it may be. But he says that this is a bad deal for the Pelicans. And Ross, we were talking about it earlier. How is it a bad deal? It's not a bad deal for the Pelicans. They get a ball handler. They get a great shooter, a spacer for Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson when he comes back. What am I missing? Is he hating? Yeah. Is he doing that thing?
It's probably, he's an idiot. But look, a lot of this, a little bit, okay, there's been I think a small amount of, people that haven't liked the trade. And if you haven't liked it, it probably tells me a couple things, right? One, maybe you haven't watched the Pels much this year or last year. And I say that because it probably ties your opinion to sort of an unrealistic expectation about hitting what you think his potential is, and an emotional attachment to around how Josh Hart plays. Okay. I like Josh Hart. I'm not saying anything bad about Josh Hart. He plays hard, but like, CJ McCollum is just a much better player. He's a much better shooter. He's a better creator. He's going to be able to do things in the pick and roll that Josh Hart just can't do. Okay. That's one. Yes. Two, like Naw had a shot this year to show us that he was part of the long-term thing. And it just never materialized. And that's unfair maybe for a guy that's only 2.5 years into his career, but he's 23, pushing 24. He was an older guy coming into the league. The shooting hasn't shown up in the way that people thought it might. The shot creation stuff hasn't quite shown up in the way that we thought. I don't like, I struggle to understand how you think this is a bad trade because I just don't feel like we gave up a whole hell
He's
of
just
a lot.
he's just doing that thing. And I wanted to ask, he's an idiot. I wanted to ask you this though. So the past, I would say 3 years, this team is close. And we've said they're pretty close, but they struggle there, right? They struggle in the crunch time situation. And and I've pointed it out too, it's spacing because Brandon Ingram needs a lane. Zion Williamson needs now you get CJ McCollum. That makes life so much easier for Brandon Ingram, especially when teams are loading up on him. You can't load up on him anymore. You can't leave CJ McCollum open in the corner anymore. Can't do it. You don't leave Devontae Graham open. Like there are now coaches that have to game plan for this. Like, well, shit, man, late here in the fourth, how are we going to load up on Zion and Brandon?
Can't do
it.
You
cannot do it.
CJ McCollum career 40%. And that ain't on like 2 threes a game. No, I mean, over the last few years, I think he's up.
He's a shooter.
He's 8 or 9 threes a game, shooting 40%. I mean, this is a knockdown. This is one of the better shooters in the NBA.
So that's what I'm saying. So now it turns into, well, now we got 3 guys. I mean, when Zion's healthy, we got 2 guys now, especially, but JV will be there too. How are you going to defend this? Because you can't leave when Brandon's got the ball, you can't leave CJ out, right? JV will be in the dunker spot. You're gonna have Herb, 37, 38% 3-point. He's not a bad 3-point shooter. And then, maybe it's Devontae Graham. Can't leave him alone either.
And well, I mean, and you're looking, I think, probably some late game stuff if we need to get a bucket. I kind of twist it back to, I think this is going to allow Devontae Graham to kind of run your second unit a little more, which adds a big push to the bench. It gives, because you'll still have Jose, you'll have Devontae. I think once everybody's healthy, Jackson maybe sees a little bit with the second unit and everything else. It's a good fit, and I think it gives that second unit a nice offensive bump too.
Did this trade? I'm gonna get to your question here in a second, Eric. Did this trade save David Griffin's job?
No, I don't know about any of that.
Do you think he made it because we had to make a move? He was trying to save his job?
I think it's a great deal. I don't think it has anything to do with his job. I think we made a really good deal for a very good player. And I think it just it makes a lot of sense. They're looking to get rid of salary, so they take back, Sato, who's probably going to get bought out or he's done at the end of the year, and Hart, who's totally not guaranteed. If they want to keep him, great, he's a solid player. But if they don't, they free up even more salary for next year. No, I don't think it had anything to do with him saving his job. I think it's just a really good deal. I think what's saving his job is how well the damn team has played in the culture shift over the last month and a half.
Can I say that Willie Green kind of have maybe saved his job?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because Willie Green's been incredible. But Eric, to your question, we're not trading Zion. This trade was made to make a big throw with DI, Zion, and CJ. So, no. So, we also get Larry Nance. Now, Ross, Larry Nance and Tony Snell. Larry Nance is actually injured right now, but he, as you said earlier, that he's kind of a bigger version of Josh Hart. He's a hustle guy. He's a culture guy. He'll do all the dirty work, kind of things like that. So, what do you see? Because it's not just CJ McCollum. It's also Larry Nance. It's also Tony Snell.
Yeah. I like Nance. I think he's a guy that over the years in Cleveland kind of showed you that he's sort of versatile. He's a big guy. He's mobile. He actually shot it halfway decent from 3 last year.
He went
Cleveland shot 36% on 2 or 3 a game. I like him. And yeah, I mentioned that to you because it just stuck out to me as, man, you got rid of a guy who played really hard, did some of those, some of the dirty work, if you will.
Right.
And I think Nance is kind of a similar type guy, runs the court hard.
Great rim runner.
Gets energetic. Gets on the ground. Like he's a guy that you see making hustle plays, making energy plays. He obviously a different position, different type of guy, but I think, again, culture fit, does some of the things that Hart did in terms of, hustle. People are gonna like watching Larry Nance play. I guess that's sort of what I mean.
I like that. So Blazers come back April 7th to the Smoothie King Center. I've requested a tribute video for Josh Hart. Is that too much or no? Is it too much?
No, I mean, it's not too much. I
feel like the guy deserves a fucking tribute video.
Yeah, I played hard. I think he's a fan favorite type of guy. I got nothing against Josh Hart.
Got nothing against it, huh?
I think it was a good look. I said this a few weeks ago on the pod. This was the time to move. I mean, I hate to say that because it's like, it's their job, all that stuff. But just looking at it from the outside in, this was like the ideal time to move Josh Hart. This is the best he's ever played in his career. This is by far the best offensive season he's had. And you got just a better player, like a better fit and a better player in McCollum. This was a good business deal. Like this was a good deal for your team.
All right, let's talk playoffs. Because as you know, yesterday or 2 days ago, the Pelicans jumped in the 10th seed. They are now only 4.5 games back of the Lakers. They're 5 games back of the Clippers of the 8th seed. And I think probably Minnesota might be. This team can get hot now. This team can make a move here. I'm sure the Lakers will make a move, but like the Lakers are in a bad spot here. Is there a chance do you see the Pelicans maybe jumping up a spot or two here to get in like maybe that 9th or 8th seed? Because if you get in that 8th seed, I mean, no, you're still 5 games back, but no, as you said earlier, no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers are very easily beatable. They're still winning some ball games. 5 games back, 30 something to go. It's not what I'm saying. It's not unreachable. But if you get that 8th seed, I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to see the New Orleans Pelicans in the playoffs in a 1 game set. You think the Timberwolves want to see the Pelicans? You think the Clippers, the Lakers? No, you don't. You don't want to see this team in a 1 game play-in.
No, I don't think any of those type of teams do. Like, the Clipper. I mean, we're as good as any of those teams.
Absolutely,
especially 100%. When you've got to kind of. It's hard to say like, well, you can't carve out your worst part of the season, but like we started so bad. Since then, clearly it's a different team. I think you just made a move to improve your roster. I don't think it's out of the question by any means for us to catch either of those teams. I mean, conventional wisdom says the Lakers are probably going to start playing better at some point as they continue to get healthy. But I don't think it's out of the question for the Clippers to slide back. I don't think it's out of the question for the T-Wolves are the T-Wolves until they prove otherwise.
And we just recently beat them. I'm telling you, nobody, the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Clippers, if we're in a 1 playing game, and I don't care if we're on the road or at home, I like my chances.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not the Clippers without George and Kawhi. I mean, look, they just made a really good deal. I mean, I felt like they fleeced Portland. I mean, they got Robert Covington, who's a useful player, and Norman Powell, who a bunch of people were signing up to give $100 million to this offseason for nothing. Yeah. I mean, we know how shitty Eric Bledsoe is. I mean, they got him for nothing. So that's a good deal. The Clippers aren't going away, but yeah, I'm not scared of them.
In a playing game. So to Chris Young's question, Ross. So once these guys are all here, what's the starting 5 and what's the second unit looking like?
That is probably the $1 million question right now. Obviously McCollum slots in. I mean, look, you got 4 of the 5, right? McCollum, BI, Herb, JV. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
So it really comes down to I think you almost have to leave Hayes in right now at the 4, which I never could have envisioned myself saying like 3 weeks ago.
Which is insane. I'm so glad they kept Hayes too, by the way. I really am.
Yeah, well, and who knows? There may be more to go here, but he's played well enough that I think right now you just roll with that. I mean, it's sort of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Because either way, Devontae and Jackson Hayes are both going to play. You almost have to look at it as like a 6-man unit. Yeah. Because, whether you're going small or big there, it's just going to slide one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I think you probably slot McCollum in for Graham at this point.
I like Devontae coming off the bench.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all do. I mean,
he's kind of like a firecracker, right? Like he can get hot, he can take over a second unit. That's where he belongs.
And I just don't,
in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't focus too much on this who's where thing because I think if you look at time played, if at the end of the year, right, if we do nothing else and you look at time played with the 4-man unit of CJ, BI, Herb, and JV, I think Jackson and Devontae are going to be equal. I mean, it's going to depend a lot of times, I think, on what the other team's lineup is. Are we down? Do we need a bucket? Where are we at in the game? But they're both going to play so much with that first unit that it's sort of pointless to overanalyze. Well, who starts?
Right. Yeah. I always get over I don't necessarily understand the whole, if he's starting, if he's not starting, it doesn't matter.
I had a bunch of people. Minutes. I could show you my phone. I've got 10 texts with somebody saying, well, who's going to be the point guard? What do you, on paper, I guess McCollum, but who cares? BI is clearly initiating the offense. I mean, had 12 assists the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, CJ only helps to that end. I think they're both going to be sort of like initiating the offense, but this is not a traditional NBA anymore. It's not like
right. Yeah. Do you think? Let's talk Zion. Do you think Zion is back this year?
I don't. It's just been so hush hush around his camp. Like I don't know. I'm excited about what this deal means because I think he's such a good fit with Zion in the way that we used him last year in terms of him sort of initiating some things at the top of the key. McCollum fits really well with him, but like we just haven't heard shit. And I don't know why his camp and the team have like chosen that route, but like that's the route we're on. Like, no, I don't. I mean, do you know anything? You know more than I know. I have no clue. I would absolutely love to hear that Zion is going to be back like with March 1st or something, which is another month. But like, I have no clue. I'm hesitant to even get my hopes up.
How good is this team in the West with Zion, BI, a healthy Zion, BI, and CJ, and Herb, and Jonas, and Devontae?
Very good. I mean, it's a good team.
That's a really good.
That's a very, very, very good team.
It's almost impossible to not think about it, right? It's almost literally impossible not to think about it because that team's really good. They're top 5 in the. I'm saying right now. I was thinking before the trade, if Zion was healthy, they're a top 5 team, top 6 team in the West, in my opinion. I think they would have been a top 6 team, but you get a healthy Zion, BI, and CJ, that makes life easier for everybody.
It's a really, really good team.
Plus Willie Green, plus the bench.
It's a good, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, if we had that, we're going to be going into the next, let's just assume Zion doesn't come back. And we're going
for this year.
Yeah. And we're going into next season with McCollum, BI, Herb, Zion, and JV. Like, we're not even talking about like, is this a playoff team? Like, no. We're looking like middle. We're looking somewhere in that 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5, 6 range, I think. And that's depending on like how much better. I mean, Ingram continues to like add shit to his
game.
Can
we talk about that? Can we talk about? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, because I'm so pissed. I really don't even want to talk about because I'm so pissed off that he's not a fucking all-star.
And why do you fuck that? Why do you not think he's a? Why do you not think he's an all-star? Is it because the small market? Is it what is it? Because a lot of people point to the record. A lot of people point to the record, and it's like I don't care. Have you seen the record without Brandon Ingram? Literally, have you seen our record without Brandon Ingram? I think we have like 2 wins, if that.
I don't give a shit about the record. What's the Spurs record?
I don't know. Cody Allen joined the show. We got Cody. Cody's joining us. What's up, Cody?
How's it going, guys?
How you doing, brother? What you got for us?
Man, been up since 4:45 this morning, waiting for that trade to break. But my only question now is the Pelicans are so like wing and big heavy. Like, who's coming off the bench to play guard?
Yeah, I think, and we just talked about that a little bit. I think I'm not sure that we're done making moves. So just hang tight. That may be addressed later. But I think Devontae obviously slides back. And, in the time being, you're probably going to see a little more Garrett Temple. I mean, I'm talking about until, for the next week or so. Like you were saying tonight. Like
tonight's going to be interesting.
Tonight's going to be interesting.
Tonight's going to be, I think the kitchen sinks being thought. Garrett Temple might get major minutes tonight.
You guys win all 48.
Yeah, I don't know, Cody, because it's going to be interesting. There might be another move to be had.
Yeah, I mean, you got you still got Jose and you've got Devontae. So I mean, I think that's sort of filling a lot of those ball handling, the ball handling role with the second unit. So it is about. I mean, I think we got to get another wing.
Yeah,
at some point that'd be great. I don't know if it's going to be in the buyout market or if there's some other small deal yet to happen. But I think what this means a little bit is that the team is excited about what Trey Murphy's done over the last 3 or 4 games. I think you're probably going to see his minutes sort of stabilize in that 10 range for the next.
You still have, as Brandon just said, you still have Jose Alvarado. But Cody, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think of the trade? Yeah, just as a
man. I mean, I mentioned before I haven't tuned in much, but commenting on it, we really, really needed a guard who could create shots, and that's what CJ does. And I mean, if people are worried about how much he's paid, don't be. I mean, this isn't a guy who lives off a burst to the rim. He's a guy who should age pretty well. So even after this deal, I mean, even a post-prime CJ is going to be able to shoot.
Exactly.
So, I'm super excited about that. I'm really excited we got Larry Nance too. I'm curious what happens with Jackson because, like, I know he's been playing super well. If you add Nance to that, you got Jonas. I don't know. That's the piece that I don't know if they move or keep. But yeah.
Yeah, I would as I've sit here and thought about it a little more, I won't be surprised if Nance is sort of rerouted somewhere else. But
really?
I mean, look, and I wouldn't be mad if we kept him because for the reasons we talked about earlier, I think he does some stuff on the hustle side that's similar to what you got from Hart. But I wouldn't be totally shocked if we're sitting here tomorrow afternoon and he's kind of gotten rerouted somewhere else.
Because he is injured right now. We don't know how.
He's going to be out for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. So for sure. Well, Cody, thanks for joining, man. It's good seeing you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
All right, brother. Take care. So yeah, I think that it's a move that has been brewing for a while, Ross, right? So with David Griffin, and listen, this podcast has been tough on David Griffin. I think a lot of y'all have been tough on David Griffin, and rightfully so. He's made some bad moves. But drafting Herb Jones, getting Willie Green, getting CJ McCollum, getting Jonas Valanciunas, finding like a Jose Alvarado,
getting out from under Bledsoe and Adams sort of freed you up to do some of this stuff. Look, I think outside of, the only real criticism, and look, screw what's happened on the court. We know the Adams and Bledsoe thing was bad, but the biggest criticism for Griffin, I think thus far, has been the relationship with Zion stuff. Like that was hairy or whatever. Otherwise, like the last year has gone pretty good.
Pretty fucking good.
Not the last year. We'll call the last 6 months. I'm talking about on court stuff. You got a great coach. You got the guy. Like you got Willie Green. We don't need to harp on that anymore, right? Because we all love him. We know how great he is. You just made, in my opinion, a really good deal here. Obviously, Herb Jones is the steal of, forget somebody said, is he the best? I saw a couple days, somebody was like, is he the best? Is he the steal of the second round? He's the steal of the whole
He's the steal of the draft.
Like
what? Steal the second round?
Yeah.
It's a top 5 rookie right now. He got drafted 37.
Right. So
steal the second round.
So all that is great. All that's great. Hopefully the only piece left to work out is what's happening with Zion. We're all like, we know nothing. We know a little bit, but for the most part know nothing. And it's because they've just kept it so hush hush. Nothing would surprise me.
Can you put me in Zion's shoes right now? Do you think he obviously knows what he's got to be, I feel like he's got to be bought it. What else do we have to do to get Zion back? And listen, maybe obviously the foot injury was more serious than thought about, but Zion's got to like these moves.
He's got to like it.
He's got Willie Green.
We've been talking about this for a month now. Like watching this team from the outside in, even before we did this deal, how are you not excited to come back? We've been a better than 500 team. Like the energy around them is incredible. Willie Green seems to be like just an overall awesome human being and a great basketball coach. Yes. Like, come on back, big fella. We got something.
We got something cooking here.
We got something.
We got the rookies.
Just get healthy.
We got the head coach. Like, just get healthy. I listen. While I've been hard on Zion, I miss Zion.
Shit, yeah. He does stuff that nobody else in the NBA can. This has been my argument from day one about why you still, even in retrospect, you take Zion over Ja Morant. Like he does shit that other people just can't do. Like,
there he is. Like, hey, Steve's at work right now. For real though, give me your quick, obviously you're at work right now, so give me your quick thoughts on the trade. Your thoughts?
You hate to see Josh go, especially how well he's been playing lately. But exponentially, just thinking about the lineup going into the end of a game, like you got, who we have now? JV. Whenever Zion,
Brandon, JV, Brandon,
Bi.
CJ.
we just one. Like I said it before, one true point guard away from just having just a fantastic lineup to start and end these games in.
Yeah.
How sad are you about losing Didi though?
Oh no. We lost Didi. No, anymore, so that's good. Yeah,
picking up a tweet from Andrew Lopez just cleared up the first round pick this year that's the pick that's included in the deal. Okay, yeah. So if it falls this year from 1 to 4, the Pelicans keep it. The protection is 5 to 14 for Portland. If it's 1 to 4, the Pelicans keep it. If it's 5 to 14, it's going to go to Portland. And if it's 15 to 30, it goes to Charlotte from the Devontae deal. And if it doesn't go to the Blazers this year, it gets pushed down the road. And if the Hornets don't get it this year, they get a future second round pick. So our pick is gone this year. I think we still hold.
That's fine. We got to get older anyways. Yeah, we got our young guys. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't care about the pick. I've said from the jump, I don't care about that pick. But that's fine. Just to clear it up for anybody.
Frank, come on in here, brother. We got love this guy. Frank, what's going on, bro?
What's up, fellas?
How are you? How you feeling?
Oh, I love it. Couldn't ask for a better thing.
So you're excited for CJ to come in?
Him and Larry, yeah.
I love that. Are you sad to see Hart go?
Absolutely.
That's it.
I like that.
Man of many words.
It's okay.
You need somebody that can score, that can give you a bucket at any point in time, other than BI.
So let me ask you this, Frank, before I let you go. If we have a healthy Zion, BI, and CJ, tell me, beginning the season with these three, where do you think this team falls in the Western Conference standings? Top 5?
Fifth or sixth?
Fifth or sixth? Yeah.
Are we talking about next year? Or like
yeah, with a healthy Zion and all that stuff.
Between 4 and 6. You're still not catching Golden State. You're still not catching You're not catching Golden State. You're not catching Utah. You're not catching Phoenix at the point.
Depending on Donovan. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they're a top 5 for sure. I'm not missing that. So
here's my question. What do you do now that we get Larry Nance? Because now you got Larry, Zion, Billy, JV, and Hayes. Can't play all 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm not that. We just talked about that. I'm not that worried about it. I think I won't be surprised if Larry Nance gets rerouted somewhere else as part of this deal. I'm fine if he doesn't too. I think there's more moves to come, and I mean you got to think about it. Nance's deal is up the end of next year. We don't know if Zion's going to play this year, and Nance is currently out. I mean, they just had a setback.
Do we still have the trade exemption from Steven Adams, or do we give that up too?
My guess is that we just used it as part of this deal, but I don't have the answer to that question just yet. But either way, like I said, Nance isn't going to play. Even if he's here, he's not playing probably for a month. So
yeah,
we'll
see, Frank. But we all love Jacks at the 4. So always appreciate you joining, brother. I got to answer this Talk Colada podcast question. So good seeing you, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day.
Later.
Right,
so Jack,
did y'all talk about like the immediate impact of this yet?
Like of tonight, you mean, or no?
No, just like how I'm just wondering if people think that CJ is going to come in and we're just going to start winning right away, because I don't see that happening.
Honestly, no, that I mean, obviously, it's going to take some time, but it depends on
right. Well, you think like you just kind of blew it up a little bit, like Willie started just getting everything with his rotation and everything down. So
that's true. But you know what?
That.
I'm glad you brought that up, Steven, because what's interesting and good for the Pelicans is that they have the All-Star break coming up, and they don't have any All-Stars besides Herb. So maybe this could be some time to get him accustomed to the playbook, to the coaches, to the players, things like that. So this couldn't come at a better time because they're going to have 3 or 4 more games left before the All-Star break.
And I think they're all at home.
And they're all at home. Yeah. So he's going to get some time to get with the players and things. My guess is he'll be dressed out. My guess is he'll be dressed out by Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
In the lineup. So excited about that. So, but no, Jack, Ross, wanted to hear your thoughts on this. So what does this mean for the Blazers? Because this is probably Dame's probably next, right? You got to think.
I don't know. I don't know that you just blow it up to that extent, right? I think what the Blazers did here, I didn't understand the last deal as much as this. Well, I guess to the extent that it freed up some money, but I mean, they now have some picks. You've got some other stuff. Maybe they try and go get someone else. But, I mean, you've got Anthony Simons, who sort of does a lot of the same things McCollum does. He's younger. I would assume they keep him. So, the backcourt, for all intents and purposes, doesn't change a ton. Simons has played really, really well the last couple of weeks. So great. I don't know that they just blow it up. I think that's sort of I will believe that when I see it. But, I mean, look, Dame's been out. I think this is more about kind of bottoming out to the extent that they can this year and then rebuilding it back up. But I don't know. I think a lot of people were sort of deducing that Dame is immediately gone. And I don't think I buy that. They
got a couple young, good players that they can try to develop a little more. And
that's what I mean. And Simons is one of them. So, I mean, you come back next year with Lillard, Simons, Nurkic is on the his deal, but I think I saw a report earlier that they're not going to move him. They want to bring him back next year. So you've got a bunch of money now. I don't know. I don't think they're just totally blowing.
Interesting. So obviously the Pelicans jumped the 10 seed the other day, Steven, and Portland's now out. Really all you have to worry about are the Spurs and the Kings. I'd be shocked if the Kings have been rumored. Who knows what they do at the deadline? So it's interesting to see what the Spurs and Kings do. But you got to think, man, the Pelicans control their own destiny here with the 10 seed and the playoffs. And Steven said it earlier, the Lakers are only 4.5 in front of us. So this could be a good time for a jump here. I mean, what do you see anything that we can start climbing up those standings?
No, I mean, why not? Why not? You got CJ coming in. I mean, it could change a lot about the makeup of this team. But I mean, but like I said, man, it's just I still think we're one decent player away from filling out this lineup and getting some type of true point guard in there. Like I know you got Zion coming back. They run that point Zion bullshit. And then I'm assuming that maybe you get the ball in BI's hands a little bit more. I don't know.
BI's a point forward now. I mean, he's averaging, he's dropped 12 assists in back-to-back games. I like the ball in his hands. So I
like the ball in McCollum's hands a lot too. And to your point, Steven, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't think we're done. I really don't.
You don't?
No, so I think there's another small move. I think there's a small move for a guard, like a wing type, like a shooter or a wing in the.
Well, I mean, isn't that what CJ essentially is?
Yeah, but he handles the ball a little more. I think he's more of a true combo guard that's going to play some point. I think there's probably another move for someone. I don't know who that someone is yet. But
I mean, just how we talked about. Yeah, just how we talked about Larry Nance. Like I don't see him being on the team. We moved Sato, so that was just I'm sure he was happy about that.
he was
best trade ever.
We got rid of Sato and you got rid of Didi. I mean, you talk about a silver lining to a good thing.
Like Didi didn't really affect us, Like I mean, he wasn't even on the team.
Well, besides being suspended for 40 games and
that'll do it. Yep,
the amount of love he got upon entry for how bad he played in Australia, and then I don't know. He always rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
People love to talk about him when we have our trouble. It's like, we got Didi down there. I mean, I said it before. I was one of those people.
You were literally the problem. You were part of the problem.
What's the problem? I'm the problem.
Before we get more into the show, reminder that this show is sponsored by Company Burger, located 4600 Ferret Street. You bet your ass I'm going to eat a burger around 12:30, 1 o'clock today. Get the tots.
You buying?
Yeah, I'll buy. We'll do some lunch. I can't focus on you, Steven, because you have this fucking deer behind you. It's so weird to see. I don't know what's going on behind you.
This is Fred.
Yeah. So
I think he's an elk.
Was an elk.
Yeah. A couple more minutes and then we're gonna sign off. Ross, I mean, this sets us I can't remember. I guess Steven and Ross want to get y'all's thoughts, but I haven't been this excited about a team at this exact moment than since the DeMarcus Cousins trade. I am so excited about the future of this team, the stability of this team. Willie Green, you got young rookies and Herb Jones to be excited about. Even Trey Murphy starting to come back, and Jose. And this is just a different feeling. It's a different day for this franchise. And I know I'm always the optimistic one. I'm talking out of my ass and I'm going to say some crazy takes, but this team is finally got some vision, Ross. They finally have vision.
I agree. And like I said, I mean, I'll close with this, is that the NBA is about winning with talent. You just upgraded talent. You brought in a legitimate 20+ point a game guard that can shoot the lights out. You brought in, you got better from a talent perspective. That's what this whole damn thing is about. And he's a culture fit. I'm excited. I think this is a great day for Pelicans basketball.
Steve, that was well said.
I'm more excited than DeMarcus Cousins. This team.
I was just going to say that.
I'm more excited. We were on the back end of AD there, and it was like a win now situation. Now we have time to sit back and watch this team grow together, and it'll be exciting. I am much more excited than DeMarcus was. So
that's well said, Steven. Because
I love it.
That's well said because I'm glad you brought that up because like that DeMarcus Cousins moves like, oh shit, like let's go win now. There was
we have to do something. Yeah,
we have to do something. This is more of a feeling like, hey, let's build. We got our guys here. We have our culture here. We have our coach. Like this was a great move, a great day for this franchise. I'm so excited. And we got Pelicans basketball tonight. It gets better. Trade happened around 9:30 this morning. We play the Rockets tonight.
Ooh,
Big
what's the line on that? We may get ass stomped. What?
No, you kidding me? Brady's gonna drop 40. Baby.
We don't have all our players, man.
We
lost DD and Nikhil. We'll be okay. We'll probably that means more shots for fucking Brandon, which is
we just won a game without Hart, a couple games out. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. So no, once again, emergency pot. So tomorrow we're gonna do a trade deadline special. Jake Madison will come on, Shamit Dua will come on, Chris Connor will come on. The Rattler brothers are going to come on. We're going to have a big show for you tomorrow. Yeah, we got a big one tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to air around 2:15 tomorrow. I'll send out a tweet. So really excited. We're going to get some great Pelicans guys in this room. But, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. It really helps our channel. We can't thank y'all enough for joining us at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. I know it's been some crazy, crazy stuff, but Pelicans play tonight against the Rockets at 7 p.m. And make sure you can follow us on Twitter at ProPelsTalk and on Instagram. Make sure to go follow Boot Crew Media. We have T-shirts, Mardi Gras coming up, Kingram shirts, Not on Herb shirts, different variations. Jack Collada just came out without a shirt. We got hats now. Sports in Paradise podcast came out with a hat. We're moving, baby. Steve, we got to get you a hat.
Hey, I don't know. How big a hat you got? I got a big ass head.
A big noggin. Steven, get us out of here, bro.
Get one for Frank.
Get one for him. Get us out of here, Steve.
Kisses.
Later.